November 24th, 1971. Thanksgiving Eve. A man in a black business suit walks up to a Northwest Orient Airlines counter in Portland, Oregon. He pays cash. One-way ticket to Seattle. He has no luggage. No ID anyone will remember. He orders a bourbon and soda, sits down, and waits. 45 minutes later, he hands a flight attendant a note. "Miss, I have a bomb." By the time that plane landed, he had $200,000 in cash, for parachutes, and a plan no one has ever been able to explain. And then, in the middle of a dark, stormy night, he jumped out of a moving aircraft at 10,000 feet. The FBI spent 45 years looking for him. They found almost nothing. This is the story of D.B. Cooper, the only unsolved hijacking in American aviation history. The day everything happened. Let's walk through exactly what happened, minute by minute. Flight 305 takes off from Portland at 2:50 p.m. with 36 passengers. The man calling himself Dan Cooper is already seated. He's calm. He orders that bourbon. Nobody notices him. Then at 3:05 p.m., he hands Florence Schaffner, the flight attendant, a folded note. She doesn't read it at first. She thinks it's a phone number from a lonely businessman. She puts it in her pocket. He leans over and says, "Miss, you'd better read that note. I have a bomb." She reads it. She sits down next to him immediately. He opens his briefcase, just enough for her to see a mass of red sticks, wires, and a battery. Then he closes it. He tells her exactly what he wants, $200,000 in $20 bills. For parachutes, 2 primary, 2 reserve. And fuel to fly to Mexico City. He is polite the entire time. He orders another drink. He even offers to buy Florence a meal. The captain radios Seattle. The FBI is notified while the plane is still in the air. And the decision is made, give him what he wants. The plane circles Seattle for 2 hours while the money and parachutes are gathered. At 5:24 p.m., Cooper gets everything he asked for. All 36 passengers are released. He keeps the crew. Now here's where it gets strange. He doesn't run. He doesn't rush. He orders the plane to fly to Mexico at low altitude, no higher than 10,000 feet, and with the landing gear down. He knows this will slow the plane dramatically. He knows exactly what conditions he needs. At 7:40 p.m., somewhere over the dense forests of southwestern Washington, he opens the rear air stair of the Boeing 727. At 8:13 p.m., the crew feels a pressure change in the cabin. D.B. Cooper is gone. The investigation 3:30 to 6 o'clock. Show FBI badge graphic, NORJAK case file text. The FBI opened case NORJAK, Northwest hijacking, that same night. What they found on the plane was almost nothing useful. He had taken his ransom note back. His fingerprints couldn't be lifted from the surfaces he touched. He left behind only 3 things, some cigarette butts, a clip-on necktie from JCPenney, and a few hairs on the headrest. That tie would become one of the most studied pieces of evidence in FBI history. In 2001, scientists analyzed it and found over 100,000 microscopic particles, including rare metals like titanium and bismuth. This led investigators to believe Cooper may have worked in a specialized manufacturing plant, possibly connected to the aerospace industry, given Boeing's massive presence in the Pacific Northwest at the time. Within 5 years, the FBI had interviewed over 800 suspects. They used in-state Route 71 Blackbird spy plane to photograph the entire flight path. They conducted experimental tests, pushing weighted sleds out of the same aircraft to calculate exactly where Cooper would have landed. Their conclusion: he likely came down somewhere near Lake Merwin, in a heavily wooded area of southwestern Washington. In November. At night. In a thunderstorm. Many investigators privately believed he didn't survive. Then in 1980, a 9-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was smoothing sand for a campfire on the banks of the Columbia River.